This is the case of Willie Countryman, Part 2. We're going to be talking about his death and the suspicious circumstances surrounding the evidence not matching up with Officer Cherry's statement. If you want to know more, please continue watching.
You are watching Roll a Mile in My Shoes TV.
Remember how I said in part 1 that in small towns, kickbacks or payoffs are something that happen all the time? Well, this case is no different. And, many people who are like police officers, they get a lot of these, even though, a lot of people wouldn't know it. They're paid off and bribed all the time, either to commit a crime or either they pay people off to do some dirt that they wouldn't want to do themselves. And like I said, this case is no different because the day after Dr. Ward conducted an autopsy on the body of Willie Countryman, a coroner's jury declared that Officer Cherry was acting in the line of duty and in self-defense when he shot him, which is just unbelievable to me because you would think that, back then, okay, that's how that was because it was, basically during the civil rights movement and everything was just kind of, tough for African American people back then. But yet and still, we still have these same things going on in today's time, except for now we get to see them sometimes as they're happening or either a few days after they've happened because we have the internet, we have social media, we have camera phones, and people take videos of these things, and now we get to see what actually happened as it is happening. So this time that this happened to Willie Countryman and the day that we're in now in 2022 makes no difference. Although Officer Cherry claimed that Willie Countryman lunged at him with the knife on the morning of the attack, a lot of Dawson's members of the black community were not buying the account of Officer Cherry's story because they said that they never knew Countryman to be violent or even carry a knife. So I'm guessing that this is the type of person that many would say if you ask them that he was, a nice person, you never saw him get violent. He didn't carry weapons. So I'm guessing that, the evidence yet again is not holding weight to Officer Cherry's story. And, it's kind of, making him look bad, although everybody already knows that he is basically lying to cover his head. Now, the knife that Countryman had in official accounts and brandished at Cherry was an elusive piece of evidence. Cherry had described it as it being 9 inches in total, with a 5-inch saw blade and a bottle opener at the end. The coroner's jury was presented with a dull switchblade knife, 10 to 12 inches long when open, with the point broken off, and a handle that appeared to have been painted brown or black at one point or another. Now, I don't know about, different knives and the types of brands of knives and all that good stuff. But I mean, there is a total difference in, if somebody can, basically see well enough, they'll see that there is different sizes of knives, and the knife that they say that he had versus what they showed is a little bit different. So you can kind of see where, holes could be kind of poked in that story a little bit. But I still can't see how they can say that this man was acting in self-defense in the line of duty when he shot the victim, which is crazy to me. No matter the inches of the knife or whatever. I mean, because come on, to begin with, you shouldn't be walking up on anybody's property in the middle of the night, basically, like these two police officers were doing. And as I stated in the first part of the video, why wouldn't you, as a police officer, walk up from the front so that they could see you, because they were sitting on the front porch? So that was, your fault. And why wouldn't you walk up and say, hey, we're patrolling the neighborhood, we got a call about a loud, noise or whatever the case may be. Do you know anything so we can go check it out, or whatever the case may be? They didn't have to kill this man just simply because, he was trying to check out the noise on the side of the house in which where he lived. It's not like he was breaking in there. But yet again, this is 1958. Even though the evidence and the circumstances surrounding Willie Countryman's death seem suspicious at best, the black people in the community who knew him said that, he was never the kind of man that would provoke or attack a police officer without being provoked, which is like, many people, even in today's time. I mean, it still doesn't matter. You can be running away and they'll find a way to still pump 30 plus bullet wounds in you from head to toe. And it doesn't matter just because of the color of your skin. And I think this was one of those cases. But even the ambulance driver or police chief said that, and he said this in his own white supremacist vernacular. He said, or he tried to find a nice way to say that Countryman had only been arrested twice before, and he said he seemed to be a good nigger. Now, these are his words, not mine. And those words were, I guess, every day for the language back then, which still doesn't make it okay. And a lot of Willie Countryman's family and friends and people in the community said that he had not been known to be a heavy drinker because, he was working so hard. And I can believe that, because who wants to drink, extra heavy when they have to get up and go to work the next day? Now, let's face it, when you drink a substance or alcohol like moonshine or even whiskey, of course that stuff is going to be stronger than the normal, I guess, like bottle of gin or whatever that you would get out of the store, because it has to have a certain, I guess, proof or what have you. And moonshine is something that people made all the time back then. So I can see why it would be a little bit stronger than what somebody would buy out of the store, and why it would last in somebody's body fluids for a couple of hours to, even, come out in their autopsy smelling, as strong as it did. But yet and still, I think that, this Officer Cherry, I think he had a quick trigger finger, and he should have thought about what he was doing before always pulling the trigger, or how he was handling these situations. Because this man, a little less than a month before this, fatally beat James Brazier, as I said in part one of this video. If you haven't watched it, please go back and watch it, and like and share it, and leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And also leave me a comment on this video and let me know what you think. Do you think Officer Cherry could have handled these situations better? Do you think that that was just par for the course of everyday life back then, even though it was wrong? Or do you, you know, not see anything wrong with the fact that he is connected to two of these cases basically in the same year, a month apart? I really want to know what you guys think below in the comments. So don't forget to leave me a comment about this and let me know, because I'm interested to know what other people think. So if you like this video, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.